Greetings, fellow cultivators. Prepare to embark on a journey into a world where humans are the spirits of all things and Gu or the essence of heaven and earth. A world where morality is skewed, and a peerless demon roams freely. This is the tale of a transmigrator, reborn time and time again, navigating a wondrous realm where people raise, utilize, and refine Gu, Spring Autumn Cicada, Moonlight Gu, Wine Worm, Golden Light Worm, Azure Silk Gu, Hope Gu. Countless mystical creatures await your discovery. But be warned. This is a story that will either captivate you completely or provoke you to hurl insults. It's a controversial tale, filled with moral ambiguity and a protagonist who defies expectations. If you crave a xianxia adventure that challenges your perceptions and leaves you breathless, then step into this world of wondrous Gu and unrelenting chaos. Chapter 1. Unrepentant even in death.
Fang Yuan, hand over the Spring Autumn Cicada obediently, and I will grant you a swift death.
Old devil Fang. Don't even think about resisting. Today, we, the righteous sections, have united to destroy your demonic lair. This place is already surrounded by a net of heaven and earth. This time, you will surely meet your end.
Fang Yuan, you damned devil, to refine the Spring-Autumn Cicada, you slaughtered millions of lives. Your sins are monstrous, unforgivable, a mountain of iniquity.
Devil, 300 years ago, you humiliated me, stole my innocence, murdered my entire family, my entire clan. From that moment on, I have yearned to devour your flesh and drink your blood. Today, I will make you wish you were dead.
Fang Yuan, clad in tattered azure robes, his hair disheveled and his body drenched in blood, surveyed his surroundings. The mountain wind whipped at his blood-soaked robes, making them flutter like a battle flag. Crimson blood flowed freely from hundreds of wounds on his body. In a matter of moments, a large pool of blood had formed beneath his feet. Enemies surrounded him on all sides. There was no escape. The situation was hopeless. Death was inevitable. Fang Yuan understood this clearly. Yet even in the face of impending doom, his expression remained unchanged, his face serene. His eyes were deep and profound, like an ancient well, bottomless and unfathomable. The righteous heroes who besieged him were either esteemed sect leaders or renowned young prodigies. They now encircled Fang Yuan, some roaring, some sneering, some with narrowed eyes gleaming with vigilance, others nursing their wounds and gazing at him with fear. They hesitated to attack, wary of Fang Yuan's final counterattack. This tense standoff lasted for 3 long hours. As the sun began to set, its fading light cast a fiery glow upon the mountainside. Fang Yuan, silent as a statue, slowly turned around. The heroes stirred, collectively taking a large step back. By now, the grayish-white rocks beneath Fang Yuan's feet were stained crimson with blood. His face, pale from blood loss, was bathed in the setting sun's radiance, giving him an almost ethereal glow. Gazing at the scene of the setting sun against the green mountains, Fang Yuan chuckled softly. Green mountains bathed in the setting sun, a spring breeze under the autumn moon. Truly, black hair turns white in a single day, and the vicissitudes of fortune are but a fleeting dream. As he spoke these words, a vision of his past life on earth flashed before his eyes. He was once a student from Washa on earth, who, by a twist of fate, had transmigrated to this world. 300 years of hardship and struggle, 200 years of dominance over the world, over 500 long years. Lived in splendor. Countless memories buried deep within his heart resurfaced at this moment, vivid and lifelike.
So, I failed in the end.
Fang Yuan sighed inwardly, a hint of melancholy in his heart, yet no regret. He had long anticipated this outcome. He had made his choice and was prepared for the consequences. The so-called demonic path meant forsaking good deeds, indulging in murder and arson, defying heaven and earth, making enemies of all, and reigning supreme.
If the newly refined Spring Autumn Cicada proves effective, I shall walk the demonic path again in my next life. With this thought, Fang Yuan couldn't help but let out a loud laugh.
What are you laughing at, old devil?
Everyone, be careful. The devil is about to launch a final attack.
Hand over the Spring Autumn Cicada now.
The heroes pressed in. At that moment, with a resounding boom, Fang Yuan detonated himself. A gentle spring rain silently nourished the Green Hair Mountain. Late into the night, a cool breeze carried the misty drizzle. The Green Hair Mountain was not shrouded in darkness. From the mountainside to its foot, countless shimmering lights flickered, like a dazzling ribbon of light. These lights emanated from numerous stilt houses. Not quite a myriad, but certainly numbering in the thousands. This was the Guu Mountain Giant nestled on the Green Hair Mountain, adding a vibrant touch of human life to the vast, tranquil mountain range. At the heart of the Guu Mountain Village stood a resplendent multi-storied building. A grand sacrificial ceremony was being held within, illuminating the interior with a brilliant glow.
May our ancestors bless us. May this year's aperture opening ceremony reveal more young talents with exceptional aptitude, bringing new hope and vitality to our clan.
The Guu clan leader, a middle-aged man with streaks of silver at his temples, knelt on the pale brown floor, clad in pure white ceremonial robes. His hands were clasped together in prayer, his eyes closed in devout supplication. Before him stood a long, black altar, 3 tiers high, upon which ancestral tablets were enshrined. Red copper censers flanked the tablets, their fragrant smoke curling upwards. Behind him, more than 10 figures knelt in the same manner, dressed in loose white ceremonial garments. They were the clan elders, each holding authority in various aspects of the village. After a period of prayer, the Guu clan leader led the others in turning around. With arms outstretched and palms pressed against the floor, they prostrated themselves. Their foreheads touched the brown floorboards, producing soft thudding sounds. The clan elders behind him, each with a solemn expression, silently followed suit. For a time, the ancestral hall echoed with the gentle sounds of foreheads meeting the floor. The grand ceremony concluded, and the people slowly rose from the floor, silently filing out of the solemn hall. In the corridor, the clan elders breathed sighs of relief, the atmosphere noticeably lighter. Murmurs of conversation gradually arose.
Time truly flies. Another year has passed in the blink of an eye.
It feels like the last aperture opening ceremony was just yesterday. So vivid in my mind.
Tomorrow is the annual aperture opening ceremony. I wonder what new blood will emerge for our clan this year.
Ah, I hope we have a young talent with a grade A aptitude. Our Guu tribe hasn't seen such a genius in 3 years.
Indeed. The Bai and Xiong villages have produced many talented youths in recent years. Especially Bai Ningbing from the Bai family, her talent is truly terrifying.
Without exception, at the mention of Bai Ningbing, a look of concern clouded the faces of the clan elders. This young prodigy possessed extraordinary talent. In a mere 2 years, he had already reached rank 3 Guu Master. Among his generation, he was undoubtedly the leading figure, his brilliance even casting a shadow over the older generations. In time, he would surely become a pillar of the Bai village, a formidable powerhouse capable of single-handedly holding down a region. No one doubted this.
However, the youths participating in this year's aperture opening ceremony are not without hope either.
Indeed. A genius has emerged from the Fang branch. Talking at 3 months. Walking at 4. Composing poetry at 5, his intellect is extraordinary. His talent surpassing all others. Sadly, his parents passed away early, and he is now being raised by his uncle and aunt.
Yes. He is indeed precocious and ambitious. He has composed respectful wine, Ode to the Plum Blossom, and River City Ballad in recent years. I've heard them. He truly is a genius.
The Guu clan leader was the last to exit the ancestral hall. As he slowly closed the doors, he overheard the elders' discussion in the corridor. He quickly understood that they were talking about a young boy named Guu Fang Yuan. As the clan leader, he naturally paid close attention to the emergence of promising disciples, and Guu Fang Yuan was undoubtedly the most dazzling star among the younger generation. Experience had shown that those with extraordinary talents from a young age, such as those with photographic memories or possessing the strength of adults, often possessed exceptional cultivation aptitude.
If this boy's aptitude is assessed as grade A, and he is properly nurtured, he might even be able to rival Bai Ning Bing. Even with a grade B aptitude, he will surely become a powerful figure in the future, a leading force in our Guyu tribe. But with his precocious intelligence, it's unlikely he'll have just a grade B aptitude. It's highly probable that he possesses a grade A aptitude.
As this thought arose, the corners of the Guu clan leader's mouth curled upwards into a faint smile. Just then, he cleared his throat and addressed the elders. Everyone, it's getting late. To ensure a smooth ceremony tomorrow, please have a good rest tonight and nourish your spirits. The elders were startled by his words. Their exchanged glances held a hint of wariness. The clan leader's words were subtle, but everyone understood their meaning. Every year, the competition for these talented youngsters led to heated disputes and fierce clashes among the elders. They needed to rest and conserve their energy for the upcoming struggle tomorrow. Especially for Guu Fang Yuan, who likely possessed a grade A aptitude. Moreover, his parents had passed away, leaving him as one of the 2 remaining orphans of the Fang branch. If they could take him under their wing and nurture him well, it would ensure the prosperity of their branch for 100 years.
However, let me give you a word of caution. Compete fairly and honorably. Do not resort to schemes or underhanded tactics that would harm the unity of our clan. Please keep this in mind. Elders!
The clan leader's voice carried a stern warning.
We wouldn't dare. We wouldn't dare.
We will certainly keep it in mind.
We bid you farewell. Clan leader. Please. Rest well.
The elders, their minds filled with various thoughts, dispersed one by one. Soon, the corridor was empty. The spring rain and wind swept through the windows. The clan leader walked with light steps towards the window. He was immediately greeted by the refreshing, moist air of the mountains, invigorating his senses. This was the 3rd floor of the building. From here, the clan leader's gaze swept across the landscape, taking in more than half of the Guu mountain village. At this late hour, most of the houses in the village still had their lights on. A stark contrast to usual nights. Tomorrow was the aperture opening ceremony, an event that concerned everyone's personal interests. An air of excitement and tension filled the hearts of the clan members. And naturally, many found it difficult to sleep.
These are the future hopes of our clan.
The clan leader sighed, his eyes reflecting the countless flickering lights. Meanwhile, a pair of clear eyes gazed upon the same scene, their depths filled with complex emotions.
Guyu Mountain Village. Is this 500 years ago? The Spring Autumn Cicada truly works.
Fang Yuan's eyes were profound as he stood by the window, letting the wind and rain lash against him. The Spring Autumn Cicada's power was to reverse time. Ranked 7th among the 10 great ancient Guu, its power was undeniable. Simply put, it granted reincarnation.
Using the Spring Autumn Cicada to reincarnate. Back to 500 years ago.
Fang Yuan stretched out his hand, his gaze calmly observing his youthful, slightly pale hand. He slowly clenched it, trying to grasp this newfound reality. With the sound of raindrops pattering against the window in his ears, he slowly closed his eyes. After a long moment, he opened them again and sighed. 500 years have passed, like a fleeting dream, but he knew deep down that this was no dream. Legend spoke of a river of time that flowed through this world, its currents sustaining all of existence. It was said that with the power of the Spring Autumn Cicada, one could swim against this current and return to the past. Opinions on this rumor varied wildly. Many dismissed it entirely, while others remained skeptical. True believers seemed few and far between. This was because each use of the Spring Autumn Cicada came at a steep price, one's very life. The user had to sacrifice their entire body and all their cultivation, offering it as fuel for the Guu's power. This price was simply too high. And what made it even less appealing was the uncertainty of the outcome. Even those who managed to obtain the Spring Autumn Cicada dared not use it frivolously. What if the rumors were false? Nothing more than a cruel deception? Had Fang Yuan not been driven to desperation, he would never have resorted to using it. But now, Fang Yuan was a true believer. The irrefutable reality before him could not be denied. He had truly been reborn.
But alas, this precious goo. In my previous life, I had to move heaven and earth to refine it, slaughtering over 100,000 people, incurring the wrath of all, and enduring countless hardships.
Fang Yuan lamented inwardly. Though he had been reborn, the Spring Autumn Cicada was gone. Humans were the spirits of all things, and Gu were the essence of heaven and earth. Gu were wondrous and bizarre. Their numbers immeasurable. Some Gu could only be used once or a few times before they were completely exhausted. Others, as long as they were not overused, could be used repeatedly. It seemed the Spring Autumn Cicada belonged to the former category, a consumable Gu with only a single use.
But even without it, I can refine another. If I could do it in my previous life, why not in this one? After a moment of regret, a surge of heroic spirit welled up within Fang Yuan.
He had been reborn. The loss of the Spring Autumn Cicada was a small price to pay. Moreover, he had returned with a treasure far more valuable than any Gu. This treasure was his 200 years of memories and experience. Within his memories lay countless hidden troves, yet to be unearthed. He knew of major events that would unfold, allowing him to easily grasp the flow of history. He remembered countless individuals, reclusive experts, rising geniuses, some not even born yet, and he possessed the experience of arduous cultivation and countless battles fought over 500 years. Armed with this knowledge, he undoubtedly held the reins of fate and the advantage of foresight. As long as he played his cards right, dominating the world and rekindling the glory of his demonic persona would be no problem at all. He might even reach new heights, pushing towards even higher realms of cultivation.
So, what should I do?
With his exceptional intellect, Fang Yuan quickly regained his composure and began to ponder, gazing at the rainy night outside the window. As he thought, he felt a tangle of countless threads pulling at him. After a moment of contemplation, his brows furrowed even deeper. 500 years was a long time. Not only were his memories somewhat hazy and incomplete, but even the locations of secret treasures and opportunities he remembered were either thousands of miles away or required specific timings to access.
The most crucial factor is still cultivation. My primeval essence is still unopened. I haven't even stepped onto the path of a Goo Master. I'm essentially an ordinary mortal. I must cultivate quickly, increase my strength, interfere with the course of history, and seize every advantage.
Furthermore, many secret treasures and techniques required sufficient cultivation to utilize. Otherwise, they would be nothing more than a hot potato, a burden rather than a boon. The first obstacle before Fang Yuan was his lack of cultivation. He had to raise his cultivation quickly. If he remained as slow as he was in his previous life, then, as the saying went, even the yellow flower dishes would turn cold.
To rapidly increase my cultivation, I must utilize the clan's resources. In my current state, I can't wander the dangerous mountains and forests. Even an ordinary wild boar could take my life. If I can reach rank 3 Goo Master, I'll have the basic ability to protect myself and traverse this world freely.
From the perspective of a demonic powerhouse tempered by 500 years of experience, Green Hair Mountain was truly small, and the Guu mountain village felt like a prison. But while prisons can find freedom, their sturdy walls also offered a certain degree of safety.
Humph! For the time being, I'll play my game within this prison. Once I reach rank 3 Goo Master, I'll leave this desolate mountain range. Fortunately, tomorrow is the aperture opening ceremony, and after that, I can officially begin my Goo Master cultivation.
The thought of the aperture opening ceremony brought forth long-buried memories from the depths of Fang Yuan's mind. Aptitude. Gazing out the window, he couldn't help but let out a sneer. At that moment, the door creaked open, and a young boy entered.
Brother, why are you standing by the window in the rain?
The boy was thin and slightly shorter than Fang Yuan. his face bearing a striking resemblance to his older brother. Fang Yuan turned to look at the boy, his expression a mixture of complex emotions. "So it's you, my twin brother." He raised an eyebrow slightly, his face resuming its usual coldness. Fang Zheng lowered his head, staring at his toes, his signature gesture.
I saw your window was open and wanted to quietly close it. Tomorrow is the aperture opening ceremony. You're still awake so late. Uncle and aunt will worry if they find out.
He wasn't surprised by Fang Yuan's coldness. His brother had always been this way. Sometimes he wondered if this aloofness was simply a trait of geniuses. Despite their identical appearance, he felt as insignificant as an ant compared to his brother. Born from the same womb, why was fate so unfair? It bestowed upon his brother a brilliance like a diamond, while he remained ordinary, like a pebble. Everyone around him would introduce him as Fang Yuan's younger brother. His uncle and aunt often urged him to learn from his brother. Sometimes, even he felt a tinge of resentment when he looked at his own reflection in the mirror. These thoughts had festered for years, accumulating deep within his heart, like a heavy boulder weighing him down. Fang Zheng's head bowed lower and lower over the years, his silence growing more profound. Worry. Fang Yuan scoffed inwardly at the thought of his uncle and aunt. He remembered clearly how his parents had perished during a clan mission. At the tender age of 3, he and his brother became orphans. His uncle and aunt, under the pretense of caring for them, openly seized his parents' inheritance and treated him and his brother harshly. As a transmigrator, he initially intended to conceal his abilities. However, their harsh treatment forced Fang Yuan to reveal his extraordinary talent. His so-called genius was merely the result of a mature soul's intellect and the knowledge of Tang and Song poetry from Earth. Even these minor displays were met with awe and hailed as divine. Attracting widespread attention, under this external pressure, young Fang Yuan adopted a cold facade to protect himself and reduce the risk of exposure. Over time, this coldness became his habitual expression. As a result, his uncle and aunt ceased their harsh treatment. As he grew older and his potential became more apparent, their treatment improved accordingly. However, this wasn't love, it was an investment. It was laughable that his brother couldn't see through this facade. Not only was he blinded by his uncle and aunt's deception, but he also harbored resentment towards his own brother. Despite his current meek and obedient demeanor, Fang Yuan's memories revealed that after Fang Zheng's grade A aptitude was confirmed and he received the clan's focused cultivation, his hidden jealousy and hatred would erupt, leading him to repeatedly undermine and suppress his own brother. As for his own aptitude, it was only grade C at best. Fate truly enjoyed playing its cruel games. Twin brothers, yet the one with a mere grade C aptitude enjoyed the reputation of a genius for over a decade, while the one with no fame possessed a grade A aptitude. This revelation shocked the clan members and completely reversed the brothers' fortunes. His brother soared like a hidden dragon ascending to the heavens, while he plummeted like a phoenix falling to earth. What followed were repeated attempts to undermine him by his brother, the indifference of his uncle and aunt, and the disdain of the clan members. Did he hate them? In his previous life, Fang Yuan had hated his inadequate aptitude, the clan's heartlessness, and the injustice of fate. But now, with the experience of 500 years, he looked back on this past with a calm heart, devoid of fear or hatred. What was there to resent? From another perspective, he could understand his brother, his uncle and aunt, and even the righteous enemies who besieged him 500 years later. The strong preyed on the weak, and only the adaptable survived. This was the nature of the world. Moreover, those with ambitions would inevitably clash and scheme against each other in their pursuit of opportunities. What was there to be surprised about? 500 years had given him a profound understanding of these truths. The only thing that remained in his heart was the pursuit of the grand Tao and immortality. If anyone dared to hinder this pursuit, regardless of who they were, it would be a fight to the death. His ambition was immense. Stepping onto this path meant making enemies of the world, walking a solitary path, and facing countless trials and tribulations. This was the enlightenment condensed from 500 years of life.
Revenge is not my goal. and the demonic path has never known compromise.
With this thought, Fang Yuan couldn't help but chuckle. He turned his head and glanced at his brother with an indifferent gaze. "You may leave now."
Fang Zheng's heart trembled. He felt his brother's gaze pierce him like a cold, sharp blade, penetrating the deepest recesses of his soul. Under this scrutiny, he felt exposed and vulnerable, as if standing naked in the freezing snow.
"I'll see you tomorrow, brother."
Not daring to say another word, Fang Zheng slowly closed the door and retreated. What will Fang Yuan do next? How will he navigate this new life with his old memories? Find out in the next chapter. Don't forget to subscribe and hit that notification bell so you don't miss it.